Hey guys, it's Chris here. So I want to talk about a question that was given to me about a month ago, and it's how to calm the fear of losing someone when you have no control over the situation. Now there's two scenarios that we're dealing with here. So the first scenario is when you're talking to a person and you're afraid to lose them and that connection, that bond, or that relationship you have with them. And the second scenario is when there's the death or passing of this person that you already have a relationship and bond with. I'm going to be speaking about the first part, the first scenario, and so we'll move on. And so when you have some kind of familial, platonic, or romantic relationship and you're very close with this person, or you feel that you've been very close with this person for a long time after talking with them, communication is probably the number one factor you want to consider first when having an issue with this person. I know communication is the number one problem in any relationship, and it's very difficult for us to talk to each other when problems occur. But it's something that we have to take the courage and time out of our hands to really sit down with them and talk about it. How can we move forward? Is there a solution to this, this issue that we're having, or these issues that we're having at hand? It's going to be hard. It's not an easy process, and you got to take it one step at a time. You deal with, one issue at a time, whether it involves you or whether it involves the other person. And I know we're dealing with, not having control over the situation. Maybe that person is driving you to a corner and you have no way of coming out and talking about maybe the problem with them, or maybe it's a problem that you're having with yourself and that person is just really driving you on the corner on that issue, and you can't really talk about it. But we definitely need to talk talk more about it with each other. Let's just say you do get cut off, right? And no solutions come out of the after talking to each other. It just doesn't work out. Communication's not there, or they decide to cut you off, or you decide to cut them off for whatever reason. The second point is called acknowledgement. Basically acknowledging, that this situation has happened or is happening, and I'm going through it. I know it's very hard. As humans, we don't want to lose those connections. We want those, deep bonds with one another. And basically, what you're going to do is you're just going to acknowledge, what have you done, during this time that this situation happened, and what didn't you do, right? You can either tell yourself that, hey, I did as much as I can, I tried talking to them, or I tried, my best in trying to keep this kind of relationship and this friendship or whatnot, together. And you can also look at what didn't I do. I could have done this, or I could have done that, and that's supposed to help you to better yourself for the future when you do, make more connections with other people that you find important. And the third point is just don't blame yourself. It isn't your fault. If the situation is something that for a fact that you have no control of, and you just can't help yourself, it's not your fault. You did what you could do with what power and control you had, and that was over yourself, right? That was, you had no control over, that other person, how they felt, and frankly, we all don't have any control over how other people feel about what we do or what we say or whatnot. So just don't blame yourself. I know it's easy to, kind of beat ourselves up rather than, pointing the finger at the other person saying like, hey, like, that's, that they didn't do anything. It's me. But, ultimately at the end of the day, it's not you. You did your best. And even if, if you did something wrong, then this is where you better yourself, right? And so we go into perception, and so you ask yourself, why is this person treating me this way? And you take a step back and you look at it from a different scope, okay? And, is this person treating me this way because, they're going through something, or, did I do something to trigger whatever it is that they're treating me? You gotta look at it from a different angle, right? And ultimately, we get to choose to decide whether this person affects our lives, going forward, in a positive or negative light, right? Obviously, it's easy to go the negative route and, say, say that this person, was basically everything, and now that you don't have them, and you're nothing without them. But I want to say that you can spin that around and say, yeah, they were a part of your life, and even though you don't have them, you still have those memories of them that retain you. The good memories, the good experiences that you had, and then going forward, you can basically talk about those experiences to other people who may be going through that, and maybe even in your future familial, platonic, romantic relationships, you can better yourself, or now you have the solutions, or you have the knowledge and experience to go forward and deal with that situation. But it all comes back to just the main three things, right? Is you start with communication. You try to salvage that situation, right? You try to see, how can I do my best to make this from whatever it is and turn it 180, right? And if that doesn't happen, then you acknowledge the situation that's happened or is happening, right? And you did what you could, and you didn't do certain things, but hey, you can do it in the future, right? It's not your fault. I'm going to keep on saying that it's not your fault. And then, of course, your perception of things, right? We have to change our mindset and how we perceive things. Maybe this person was going through some things, right? And it wasn't it wasn't you, it wasn't them. It was just the environmental factors that were happening, and it just happened in such a negative way. And at the end of the day, though, we get to decide how we move on. And I believe that we can all move on in a positive direction. And I myself have lost people. I'm someone who's very friendly, and I don't like losing friends, and sometimes I've had to cut people off because it wasn't good for me. And but I acknowledge that, hey, there are some positive experiences there, and it's I enjoyed them, and I learned from them, and I'm able to talk to other people and better myself and understand the situations a lot better now. And of course, the opposite end, where people have cut me off, and it sucks. But just understanding that, hey, like, it wasn't my fault, and just it happened, and I did what I could. So I just wanted to elaborate more on this question, and this is how to calm that fear, right? And you shouldn't be afraid. Losing people, it's natural as pain, right? It's something that happens in our lives, and it's just a matter of how do we take that and transform it into strength, moving forward, and how do we build character off of it, gaining the skills and the things that we have in order to when we get that another situation presented to us, dealing with that. And I hope that kind of helps out whoever asked me this question. It was a very thoughtful question. If you still feel that you're afraid, please contact me. I'll do my best to try and help you out with it. I hope this kind of simple breakdown helped you out a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much for this very good question.